Good evening all, and welcome to another video on Untappd Ale. It's Friday night, it's alcohol-free showdown night. Which ones are we doing? It's these two. It is Erdinger Alkoholfrei and the Paulaner 0.0. As always with these videos, we are going to compare and contrast the beers side by side to see which one I prefer. And the reason we're doing these two is because when I've tried them both, they've come out with the same score on the Untappd scoreboard of joy. And speaking of the Untappd scoreboard of joy, here it is. You've got 49,000 check-ins to the Erdinger versus 23 for the Paulaner, and a slightly higher score for the Erdinger at 2.85 versus the 2.78 for the Paulaner. But you can see my score is equal, 4.25 for each. So on my scoreboard, they're inseparable. But today we're going to pit them against each other in Mortal Kombat and see which one wins. We're going to go the usual 5 pillars of judgment: the looks, the aroma, the body, the taste, and the finish, to see if indeed we can separate them on this glorious occasion. I'll say it's glorious. It's Friday night. It's always a glorious occasion on a Friday night. So what we're going to do, we're going to pour the Erdinger into a Northern Monk glass and the Paulaner into a Vocation glass. And I know it's kind of sacrilegious to not put them in the correct glassware, but I don't have it yet. I will hunt them down because I do need a good glass for these kind of beers. So let's start by pouring the Erdinger. Now, I've drunk a lot of this over the years, even before I was medically forced onto the majority of my beer being alcohol-free, and it's a good beer in its own right. So, like I say, it was something I was familiar with for a long time. So the pour is pale, a little bit clearer than I'm used to seeing, I must say. But it looks glorious. It is golden with a nice white head, voluminous. You've got nearly 3 fingers worth of it there. That's your beer in a glass. It looks lovely. Can't really see my mug through it. So there. So that's the Erdinger. And now the Paulaner going into the Vocation glass. And we will try not to spill any of this one. So this one pours a little bit cloudier. There we go. So Paulaner in my left hand, Erdinger in the right. You know, looking at them side by side, there is a clear difference. The Paulaner is hazier, it's murkier. It's got a slightly tighter head on it, and I know the head is starting to fade on this one, but even from fresh, the Paulaner actually has a tighter head, and it looks better. I think we know where the point's going on this one, don't we? This one, because it looks a nicer beer. It looks more juicy, it looks more full-bodied, the head is great. Paulaner gets the point. So my scoreboard of joy is currently blank. Gets a 1-0 to the Paulaner. So the aromas on the beers. Let's go for the Erdinger first. Bready, yeasty, wheaty, warming, filling. It smells delicious. It always has, it always will, I think. And the Paulaner, similar but a much lighter aroma. Let's see if we can stir it up a little bit. Yeah, similar. Bready, yeasty, malty and filling, but at a much lower scent strength. This is like a 2 out of 10, whereas this is more like a 7 in terms of the scent strength. And even when you flip between the two, you come back to the Erdinger and it's nice and strong. Lovely, lovely aromas. Very, very similar, like I say, in terms of their consistency. You know, the things that make up the aroma, they are almost identical. Only difference being the Erdinger is stronger on the scent. It gets the point. So the body on these two beers was always excellent. I say was, certainly for the Erdinger. I've drunk a lot of that. The Paulaner, this is only my second one. But the Erdinger, medium bodied, smooth in the mouth, nice carbonation. It's lovely. Whereas the Paulaner, lighter on the carbonation, which means it's a little bit more smooth and creamy. And if I'm not mistaken, it is a gnat's whisker heavier on the body as well, which means the point goes to the Paulaner. That is 2-1 lead. So as for the taste on the Erdinger, the first thing that comes out is that lovely bready flavour. It's light, it's warming, it's filling, it's comforting, it's bready, it's yeasty, it's slightly malty. It's a damn fine, refreshing drink. And the Paulaner is slightly more savoury. There's a slight, almost like a sweetness, like a creaminess. And when on its own, I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And now I think comparing this to the Erdinger, I'm getting a slight banana note. Yeah, so the Erdinger is very bready. It's ever so slightly banana on the Paulaner. And when you compare the aromas, they're almost identical. The flavours are quite different. I do love them both, but which one wins? Oh, this is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. I'm going to come back to that one. We're going to go to the finish. So, on the Erdinger, I say those bread notes just sit there with a sweet malt behind them. It's really refreshing. It makes me want to go back for more. There's a slight dryness to it as well. But overall, sweet bread, delicious. And the Paulaner, like I said, that slightly savoury edge comes through on the finish as well. Oh. I think that one, on the finish, I'm going to give the edge to the Erdinger because I just prefer it. You know, there's nothing bad about either of them. There's just what you prefer, and I prefer the Erdinger, which takes me back to the flavour. So we've got to decide which one I prefer. So we're going to go straight to the Paulaner first this time, do a reverse, and see if I prefer this one. So we get the creaminess and the breadiness, much lower bread to cream ratio, like a banana, creamy banana. And on the Erdinger, six of one. It really is 6-1, which, if I score it that way, means we have, ladies and gents, a score draw. You know, you got 2-2, and the taste is drawn. So I think it goes to say, without shadow of a doubt, that both the beers are really nice, and it's purely going to be a case of which flavour do you prefer. You know, do you prefer the slightly more bready and malty Erdinger, or do you prefer the slightly more banana creamy nature of the Paulaner? Who knows? It's up to you. You're not going to go wrong with either beer. They're both great, they're both refreshing, and they're both alcohol free, and they will do the job nicely. Interesting fact for those who don't know, that the Erdinger is served as an isotonic drink, and you see it. If you ever watched it, Ski Sunday back in the day, you saw it advertised, and you probably still do, on sort of the advertising hoardings on the ski runs. Quite interesting that they give it out after events, and people enjoy it. So, without shadow of a doubt, great beers, enjoy them. And we're at the point in the video where I'm going to say, down there are the buttons. You know exactly what to do with them by now. You've got the like, comment, dislike, and subscribe. Choose any combination of them as you wish. And I will see you again soon for another one. Bye.